Part 3 of The Last Resort. The smugglers weren't lacking for food, weapons, or money, but what they didn't have was transportation. The man scolds himself. If the party was here, they could have found out where the messenger pigeons and ravens traveled to, but now there's no one to get that information from. Why can't he at least try to do things the way the party does it? Isn't that what he did, though? Saving the captives instead of burning the fortress around them? No witnesses was the motto before, but now there was at least one. One loose end. One snip, and... No, that man is supposed to be gone, unleashed only when necessary, and now was not that time. 2 horses, one for the elvish woman, Flandriel, and one for him. The rest of the captives would have food and weapons to protect them from any smugglers returning, but how long until Flandriel would return? Problems for another day, and a problem beyond his control. The greater good and the party were more important. One glance from the top of the rise was all he spared. They now had their fighting chance. Now they just had to take it. He heads north, to Brampton Keep. Castle guards are far more diligent than bandits at guarding their gates, but even they aren't perfect, and a keen eye can find the flaws in defenses. A stolen guard's cloak and the light of the early morning hours make it possible for the man to slip in without being questioned. The man knows that servants talk. Most gossip has a sprinkle of truth in it, as much as a dash of lies. 2 of the new protesters are down in the cells, and one has already been played with by Lord Burge. The man hears that term over and over. Do your tasks right, or Lord Burge will play with you. Don't spill, or Lord Burge will play with you. If she doesn't set herself straight, Lord Burge will summon her to play. Mark my words. It takes hours of listening and watching before the man can move on and into the Lord's chambers. Several women stand still along the walls, eyes downcast and hands crossed in a submissive manner. It takes several moments for the man to realize that none of them are moving, none of them are breathing, their bodies rigid, but remarkably preserved like trophies. He finally sees one of his party. Elmira stands in a blue ball gown similar to the others, the eyes glassy and dead, hair loose around her shoulders. Dead. Gone. Not forgotten, though. A quick search through the wardrobe and the man recovers the locket Elmira wore, along with the 3 pendants each of the children were given when they joined the party. The man touches his lightly and remembers how proud he was to have earned his own, how empowering it was to bury the thirst for blood and the hunger to inflict pain in order to be worthy of that pendant. Pocketing the pendants and the locket, the man looks out the window to see a hunting party returning, the sky blue banner with crossed black swords announcing the return of Lord Burge. The dungeon was lightly guarded. A silver coin and, "wantin' to see the pretty prisoners," was all that was needed for the man to gain entry. A single torch lit interior, and he was left to his own as the guards continued to play at their dice. 4 whistled notes, code for the children of the light, saying, "I am ready," the man repeated over and over, walking between the cells as he looks around. Hardly a sound came from any of them, and the man started to wonder if there were any other cells that he might have missed when he hears the reply. 2 notes repeated. "Help." The Nasia's call. The man walks up to the cell and glances around to make sure the guards aren't paying too close of attention. "Where's Faith?" he asks, trying to look casual. The dirty face and tangled hair gives her a wild look to what was once a composed and calm face. "I haven't seen her or Elmira since we arrived. They keep us separate." She looks the man dead in the eyes. "You have to leave. You can't take on the entire castle, and you can't let him out," she says sternly. Of all the children, only she knows even the smallest sliver of the truth. A drop of ink against the midnight sky, that is the truth. "I'll get you and Faith out, I swear. Help is on the way." he says, trying to reassure her against the lie. There would be no other help. He presses 2 vials through the metal bars. Drink the round one if they're going to hurt you. Drink the flat one if they have an altar. The words leave the man's lips in a whisper. The flat one means they won't take her alive. A dead mage can't be sacrificed to the dark sorcerer. Now scream at me. She pockets the vials and the tears start to fall. She screams and curses at him, with good reason. The man never said that he would save Elmira. Those simple, unspoken words already told her what happened to their friend. The guards laugh at him for getting handsy with the prisoners, and don't pay him a second thought as he climbs the stairs. Lord Burge took the last drink from his wine goblet for the night and wised his men a merry evening after the hunt. It was still early to retire, but there would be a new toy to play with in the West Wing, one of the children that had been plaguing the Dark Sorcerer's works for a while now. Enough of an annoyance to deal with, but not enough to cause any serious threat to his plans. With all of the children captured, now there would be no threat against him. Walking up the tower stairs, he sees a lone guard at the door. Strange. There were usually 2. The door to the privy was shut, and a corner of a cloak was caught in the door, showing where the other guard was. Lord Burge pulled out the key and unlocked the door just before the world went black. Waking up bound and gagged, he looks around. He's on his play table, but not tied to it. The guard stands in the corner looking at his toy for the night, giving her a vial of something. He screams in rage. No one is supposed to touch his toys when they were in here. He thrashes about, trying to undo his bonds to no avail. The guard hands his toy some keys, and she moves towards the door. It was a name. She knew his name. He couldn't hear it over his own screaming. Don't kill him. He needs to face the Queen's justice. That's our way. She closes the door behind her as the guard looks down on him. Lord Burge, I saw your handiwork, and I must say, I would have been impressed had I not known your latest statue. He takes off the helmet and pulls out the pendant showing himself as one of the Children of the Light. That explains what she was saying. The children are no executioners. They capture and bring men to justice. There is no way that they would make it out of this castle alive, let alone to subdue the staff and bring evidence of his work to the Queen. I just want you to know, this pendant is what I strive to become. I want to be good. I want to do the right thing. But in the end, from what I've seen here, you are not worth the Queen's justice. The man looks at the shaft where he sends the toys that displease him, or are no longer needed. Time for your toys to play with you, the man says as he grabs him by the hands and pulls him off the table and to the shaft. He screams, knowing that there are toys down there that didn't die, that feed on the flesh of other toys and parts of men. He pleads and starts to cry as the man starts to stuff him into the shaft feet first, stopping him halfway. The man pulls a vial from his belt and places it in his hands. This is the only mercy you deserve. Drink it before they get to you, and maybe you'll find some salvation before the end. The man cuts the gag off before undoing the binds holding his wrists and feet. Before he is fully free, he is sliding down the shaft. Quickly opening the vial and drinking the contents, he places his booted feet against the walls, trying to slow his speed before reaching the bottom. He knows he is reaching the bottom as the shaft levels out. The room is dark, but there is a shaft of light from the dungeon above that he can make out the scuttling creatures that were once his toys that he never killed. Pallid skin and sick from cannibalizing their fellow men, they look at him and smile slowly. Too slowly. Their movement is slow, but so is his. Their movements are that of men racing to get to him first, but they take too long to take steps, blink, and open their mouths. To his horror, he realizes too late that the vial the man gave him would prolong his experience instead of reducing it, as the first of the toys bites into his arm. Part 3 of this story was written by Zin Surin. Read by a bag of Vicodin. Thank you for listening.